Hello, ladies and gentlemen. In this opportunity, I want to tell you about the explanation of my research project entitled The Social Capital as the Main Strategy of Survival for People with Disabilities, a case study on a blind musician community in Yogyakarta. Well, this research is down to answer questions like how are people with disabilities be able to survive in this modern era? Meanwhile, they are most likely to be marginal people because as we know together, nowadays sometimes we forget to pay more attention to them in society. In addition, as people with disabilities, they also face the difficulties and non-disabled people couldn't feel the same way. Therefore, I do this research to get a complete and comprehensive information to be analyzed so that the question before can be answered and be explained. Ladies and gentlemen, based on my research result, the main strategy they apply to survive is building the social capital with several ways. But before I continue my explanation, first I will explain what the social capital is. Despite there are so many definitions refers to social capital, actually we can say that social capital is a factor we can use to reach our goals using social interaction, which can create a trust each other's norms and values as well as networking. Simply, these three elements then become a social capital itself. Because of this, I will describe how blind musician community in this case build these three elements as a social capital used to survive. The first, members of blind musician community in Yogyakarta succeeded in creating trust. They live together in the same rented house, although in fact they haven't any blood relation. And then they made a deal to pay rental cost of this rented house together. And the second, they had believed that life together was a best way that can be done to survive. In other words, they highly uphold the values of togetherness, family values, and mutual assistance values. Besides that, they didn't feel competing each other, although they have the same job at the same place too. Because one of members of this blind musicians community told me that they believe with destiny. So we can conclude that they have faith as a values which must be upheld. And the third, they not only live together in the same house, but they also established a blind musician community called Jaya Music Group. Hence, they were successful in creating a network. Because as musician and as person with disabilities, each of them could make a group that can be their own network in society. The last. The conclusion of my research is some people with disabilities who have a job as musician in Jakarta apply some ways to survive. And then these ways become social capital in the end. Because they have all of elements of social capital itself. They trust each other, they have values and norms in their community, and they have Jaya Music Group as their network. So ladies and gentlemen, in other words, we can conclude that social capital is their strategy to survive in life. I'm Ismada Firdaus Mandala Putra from Universitas Gajah Mada Indonesia. Thank you.